Hey everyone. So, because I forgot how or to record last night, I'm going to go ahead and do it now. It won't be quite as fun, but you'll get a pretty good gist of the information that we shared last night. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you guys. Okay, so let's go ahead and just kind of start with these slides. I'm not going to open it up all the way, just because it makes it easier to navigate. So when we're talking about volume, these are the three places that you're going to see your volume when you look in your back office. So the first one is going to be in the front page of your Coach Online office. You're also going to see it in your genealogy tab, and then you can also look at it from my business, my volume. Okay, so let me show you real quick where those are. So if you're sitting here in your front office, okay, right here, here's where you can just get a quick peek of your volume for the week, and then your projected personal volume and the projected customer personal volume. This is a 5-week rolling projection. So when I first started, I hit Success Club 14. So this right here looked a lot higher, or was a lot higher than it is now, because my sales haven't been huge, and I'll show you that in just a minute. Then you can also see your left leg volume and then your right leg volume. Okay, so that's your first place that you can see it. The next place you can see it is if you go to my downline and you go to graphical genealogy, you will also see it up here. I always come to this page just personally to kind of check on what's going on. And then I get a quick peek at my volume for the week. On Thursday when you wake up, or Thursday at whatever after 12 a.m. on Wednesday, this will all reset to 0 and you'll start again for the week, because we get paid weekly on our volume, assuming you're Emerald. So those are going to be the 3 pages where you can, oh, I forgot one, sorry. If you go to my business, my volume. Okay, so here it is. So right here, you're going to have the week ending January 13th. That's tomorrow. Okay, so this volume comes from January 7th all the way to January 13th. You can see my personal volume is minus 15. I had a customer cancel their subscription. And then my left leg volume is 520, and right now my right leg volume is 745. If you're in this tab and you click into left volume, you're going to see where that volume is coming from specifically. Okay, so you can see Kira's killing it. So she's given me a lot of volume. She's not my personally sponsored coach, she's Nicole's, but because she's under me, I still benefit, if you will, from her volume. All right. And then you can do the same thing for your right volume, and you can see exactly where your volume is coming from and who is contributing to that, in case you were curious. Okay. So if I come back here, so those are your 3 places where you can check and see what your current volume is. This little graphic Nicole put into a file on our page. And sorry, this will not go away until I do that. And now I lost everything. Okay, this is in a file that Carly Wood actually posted this up in Beatnik, and then Nicole went ahead and put them all into an album in Team FabFit. I also personally just saved all of those into my desktop because they're really easy. They're easy to see. If you have a new coach or that has a question, there might be a graphic that you can send them. That's pretty easy. Or at the same time, if you need a refresher, This is also a great place or a great tool to have at your disposal. Okay, so let's talk about how we cycle and what exactly a cycle is. So, the very first thing is that you must be at least an emerald. If you are just a coach, you will not cycle. Okay, and there's a reason for that. I'll show you what that is in a minute. So, if you're emerald, you will get paid $14 a cycle. If you're ruby, you will get paid $16 a cycle. If you're diamond, you get $18 a cycle, and it doesn't change from there whether you're just a diamond, whether you're 8-star, 15-star, you've got a bajillion business centers, it doesn't matter, you will still get $18 a cycle. The ratio for getting paid is having 200 volume on your strong leg and 100 volume on your weak leg. Okay, so basically what you need to know is the more coaches you have under you, the higher your volume is going to be, the more you're going to get paid. Okay, so here's a little graphic. I couldn't find the one that Carly made. I couldn't find the one that Carly made. And then I found it after the fact. But so I just went ahead and I made this one myself. It says exactly the same thing. So let's say that Jackie's sitting right here is an emerald coach. I have this many coaches on my left leg and I have this many coaches on my right leg. Okay. My total volume on my left leg is 540. My total volume, or excuse me, my left leg. My total volume on my right leg is 200. Okay. So that 200 to 100 ratio is where this comes into play. Every time I can subtract 200 and 100, I will get one cycle. That will, as an emerald coach, equal $14. Then 540 minus 200 is 340. I can still subtract 200, so I'll do that. 200 minus 100 leaves 100. So I can subtract that. So off of this volume, I am able to cycle 2 times, which gives me a $28 cycle because this particular coach is emerald. If this person was a ruby coach, they would have made $32 off of those 2 cycles. So right here, I can no longer subtract 100. There is no volume left. Okay, so I can't cycle anymore this week. Okay, even if this said 50. Even if this said 99, I would not be able to cycle anymore because I need to have at least 100 on this side in order to continue to cycle. Okay, right now, it's pretty easy for me to get an estimate on how much I'm going to cycle. Because my volume isn't massive. Some people have massive downlines. Like Nicole was sharing, she was one of Nikki's first coaches. So one of her legs is like enormous, okay? And then she's been building her weak leg. So the way that I would do it for now is pretty easy. I can see that I can cycle out of here twice. Actually, no, 2, 4, 6. So I can cycle 3 times. And I can cycle here, so 3 times 16 is more than I can handle at this moment after working all day, whatever that is. So I can get a kind of an estimate of what it is that I'm going to do or how I figure my volume cycles right now. However, there's a pretty easy way to do it. So you can look at your weak leg number, divide that by 100, and then multiply that by 18 or 14 or 16, depending on what you have. Okay, and it'll give you an estimate. Sometimes your carryover volume comes into play. And so you might make a little bit more, but I would not worry about all of that right now. I would just focus in on just the basics of volume. Carryover is basically like rollover minutes. They don't really go away until the end of the year, so they'll continue to factor into your cycles as the time goes on. Okay, so I just want to go back one slide here. So for those of you that weren't able to make the call, essentially what we did is we did a little pretend practice. So if my left side has 800 and my right side has 300, okay, I know that I'm going to cycle 3 times from here as long as I can cycle 3 times from here. So this particular person as an emerald cycled 3 times, which gave them, again, way more than I can handle. 14 times 2 is what, so $40, okay? So that's really a pretty easy way to do it. Again, if you have a massive downline somewhere along the way or as time goes on, I would just take your week leg number, divide it by 100, and then multiply it by whatever cycle bonus you get, okay? This is another way to do it for number 2. This is not step 2. It's just number 2. It's a different way, but you got, I mean, there's decimals and like who's trying to deal with all of that? But again, these are estimates, so don't hold fast to whatever your calculations are. For me personally, I just want to know that I'm getting paid. I don't really necessarily care where it's coming from. So this is also really important. By the way, this graphic is also in that same album in FabFit, and as well as this one. I am going to zoom in on this so you can see it. So there's a whole lot of numbers on this page, but essentially what you want to know is where do I cap out at each rank, okay? So as an emerald, you cannot make more than $250 in cycle bonuses. That's it. You're done, okay? So for every cycle, you're going to get paid those $14. So let's say that you have a lot of coaches. You're emerald, you have a lot of coaches on either leg, but you don't have an emerald on each leg, so you're not diamond, okay? And you have these huge volume numbers, but you're emerald. So you could, in theory, be losing out on a crap ton of money, because even if you were ruby, okay, you cap out at $1,000. That is a huge difference. That is a huge incentive in and of itself to get yourself to that rank advancement. Not only are you making more money per cycle, but your cap out is much, much higher. And then as you get to diamond, it goes to 2,000 and so on and so forth, all the way up to 15-star diamond, where you can make $12,000 a week alone on your cycle bonuses. Now, that sounds absolutely insane. Like, who has that much volume? Okay, there is a lot of top coaches that not only are 15-star, like Melanie Mitron, who we just had on the National Wake Up Call. She is a 15-star 3 times. So if she cycles that many times in each business center and she caps out at 12,000, she could be making $36,000 a week alone on her cycle bonuses, not to mention whatever her retail sales are, her fast star bonus, her quarterly bonus, and so on and so forth. Okay, so I cannot stress to you enough how much these cycle bonuses mean for your business. Top coach, every single top coach will tell you that a good 75 to 80% of their income every single week does not come from retail sales. It comes from their volume, okay, and their cycle bonuses. So just to very quickly, what the rest of this means is you need to hit 18 cycles to max out at $250, okay? Your total team volume should be about 5,400, 1,800 on your weak leg, 3,600 on your strong leg, or, excuse me, about 2,700 if you have balanced, you don't have a weak or a strong leg. So, again, you know, this is a great chart to reference. But this is really the crux of it. This is what you need to see and why it's so super important to get those coaches, working coaches under you in order to get your cycle bonuses. Okay. So I want to go kind of a little full disclosure with you guys. I want to show you something. I'm going to go into my commissions. When I first started way back in the day in July of 2015, okay, my first 3 weeks, I didn't make any money. That's pretty typical. I was still learning, I was in training, and so it takes a minute to get off the ground, okay? So my very first paycheck, there's all retail. Okay, it's all retail. I sold 3 challenge packs and 1 Shakeology sampler that week. Made $137. I was stoked and hooked. The next week was the week before the 21-day fix went off of sale for August. Okay, so again, I sold actually, this is 2 Shakeologies and then 2 challenge packs, and I got a fast start bonus because I signed on a coach that week. Okay, so you don't the commission that you make for selling a challenge pack to a customer is different than what you make for a coach. If you sign on a coach with a challenge pack, you make about $50. Okay, so then I had this $205 check, and I was like, holy crapola. Then I had a $40 week. And that was when I signed on another coach, I would think. Yeah, this was the first time I signed my boyfriend on as a coach. Okay. But there was no retail commission. I sold nothing. I still had no team bonus. Sorry about that. I still had no team bonus because I still wasn't Emerald. I had 1 coach on each leg, but I hadn't reached Emerald because they were inactive and I didn't have volume yet. The next week was nothing, 0, no bonus, no retail, nothing. Okay, then I want to let me see if I come up to here. Okay, so this week is when I kind of started seeing this volume really come into play for me. So I had some retail, I had the subscription and all that. However, I cycled 3 times for the first time as an Emerald, and I made an extra $42. And I was like, heck yeah, I did it. Okay, so what this looks like for you is you'll see your rank here, what my left leg volume was, what my right leg volume was, how much they used, carryover, blah, blah. This is what you care about. 1, 2, 3. I cycled 3 times on these 3 days in that week, and I made $42. Did I have to directly work for that? No. I did not sell anything to earn that volume. Okay, this all came from my downline, not the coaches working under me. They're not just my coaches, like my personally sponsored coaches, but they're also the coaches that Nicole placed for me personally in my downline. Okay, so they're working and they're kicking butt, and I'm benefiting from it because I'm getting volume. I'm not getting any part of their commission or anything like that. And the same goes for the rest of you. As your downline start to grow and you start to build your coaches, you will benefit from them busting their butt. As a leader, if you sign on a bunch of coaches and you send them on their merry way and you don't help them through trainings and you're not there for them, then they're not going to work and you're not going to earn your volume. So you've still got to do your part. Okay. So you can see that there's a lot of weeks in here where I had 0 retail and I got all team bonus. This might be one of them. I honestly don't remember. Okay, maybe not. But you could see as an Emerald, or excuse me, as a Ruby coach, I made $64 this week. Okay, my downline is not massive. I don't have a lot of coaches, but it starts to add up little by little. So far in the last 5 months, I've cycled 41 times. That's $14 times, however, probably about 38 is a lot of money. It starts to add up. Okay. So when you're in here in your commission, you're wanting to know where your breakdown is, where team bonus is. That's where you're going to see this. Matching bonus comes into play. Hey, look, I have a matching bonus of 70 cents. That's pretty sweet. I didn't even know that. Comes into play as a Ruby, and then again, there's a higher matching bonus as a diamond coach. Okay, then you get all these fantastic things as you rank advanced. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and stop there we go. Okay, so let's talk then about coaches real quick. Okay, so we went through the all the basics really of volume, and how you find it and what it means and what the cycles are and so on and so forth. But none of that is going to make any single bit of difference unless you sign quality working coaches. Okay. I can't stress to you enough how important this is. Okay. So discount coaches serve a purpose. They're a great way to get initially to Emerald. They're good to have. They're kind of like placeholders. If they're consistent with their Shakeology, they will give you 90 volume points every single month on that leg. But if they're not, if they drop off and then you lose rank, and they're not as reliable as your working coaches. Okay. So if you're currently Emerald because you've got a discount coach on each leg, I would very, very quickly try and find other coaches working or discounts to put on either leg to give yourself a little bit of room in case one of them drops off. Okay. So your working coaches, okay, you should be really, really picky. Maybe not really, really picky, just one really picky. And I'll tell you why. So when I first started in August, I was talking to an old friend and I found out she was going through some things and she needed some money, whatever. And so she did a Glance group and she signed on. She was that very first coach that I showed you in my commission. And she went through the training. And I could tell that she was kind of a little iffy, but I tried to work with her. We did a call, we did the whole thing. And within 2 months, she canceled. Okay. Fortunately, I had signed another coach already under her, so I didn't lose rank. But if I had really listened to my gut before I signed her, I would have never signed her. I knew that she wasn't ready. She had too much going on in her life to really prioritize, I guess, Beachbody. So I need you guys to be a little picky. Here's a second example. I just had a challenger go through the last group that Beatnik did. And she said that she's like, I definitely want to do it. But I don't have the money to do the 140 right now to sign up with a challenge pack. So I'll just pay the $40 and I'll just stay inactive until I can buy or sell something. And I could have said yes. I could have said, absolutely, let's sign you on. But you got to think long term. Here's what would have happened. Number one, she would have started coaching without having any Beachbody products because she was a free challenger in a 7-day group that I met on Instagram. So she wouldn't have Shakeology. She wouldn't have a workout. She would not be able to be a product of the product. She could have done all the training and she could have been posting her that she's working out and then now I'm a coach and blah, blah, blah. But now her friends and her followers are going to see that and say, oh, you're a Beachbody coach. What are you doing for a workout? And they'll just see her doing burpees in her bedroom. So if you're a Beachbody coach, why aren't you doing the Beachbody workouts? That makes sense. Or why aren't you drinking Shakeology? So what I chose to do was tell her, I want you to wait, save up your money, okay? And when you have the money, then we'll sign on. Okay, now here's the important thing. I didn't just tell her that and send her on her merry way. What I decided to do was put her into my paid challenge group that's going on right now, even though she didn't buy anything. Why did I do that? Because I want her to stay in the mix. I don't want another coach to swoop her up, if you will. I want her to stay in that mind frame because she was super excited about it and really wants to do it. She just didn't have the money right now. So we're constantly talking about it. I messaged her the other day and I made a comment about how she's going to be so amazing when she signs on. And so I am keeping that relationship with her so that when she has the money and she's ready to go, I am right there. She's not going to go pick somebody else. She's going to come to me because I've maintained that relationship with her. I've kept her in the groups, or I guess at least she better. So I'm setting myself up. So last night, Kira asked how we make the transition from coach from challenger to coach. So something that I do and that Nicole agreed was, as the challenge group is going on, and you'll see who these people are pretty quickly. They'll comment on others' posts, they'll comment themselves in the thread, they'll comment on what I post, and they're just super involved. And I'll make comments like, look at you coaching, look at you, oh my God, you're so motivating, you're so inspiring, this and this. And I'm dropping little hints along the way between my, the 21 days or the 30 days, whatever your group is. And then I always do, at the end of my challenge group, I'll make a post about becoming a coach, or, if you really love Shakeology, you can become a discount coach. And so I drop these little hints along the way, and then I just blatantly put it out there. If you love this group and you love what it's done for you, and you think that you want to pay it forward, I always use that, pay it forward, because that's what it is. That, contact me and message me or whatever. And then those people that I've been dropping hints along the way, I will private message them as well. And I'll send them a personal invite into a Glance group, or for us to have a chat or whatever. I'm trying to think what else it was that we talked about. So basically it just, these dogs, man. Basically, it's just the importance of signing those working coaches, being picky about it, and then when you do sign them, to make sure that you train them well, okay? Your process, whatever it is that you do for them, they're going to duplicate for their coaches that they sign on, okay? So if you're like a brand spanking new coach and you sign on a working coach right away because you have a friend that saw what you did in the last 2 weeks and is like, I want in, okay? Don't be afraid to talk to your upline. Your upline will help you train them, or will train them with you in order for them to be successful, because my success relies on your success, and so on and so forth. We are all a team. We all work together. So I just wanted to throw that out there. Now, I haven't watched the full video yet in Beatnik of that Paige Casto talked about the top 5 tips, but I read some comments, and actually Carly posted about this the other day in Beatnik about putting the love and the time into your challengers, okay? Yeah, I totally agree with that, because some of the greatest coaches come from those challenge groups. And you should do that. You should devote your time to them. I mean, they're there with you. You brought them in, so you want to make sure that you're there and that you're available. Okay. What you don't want to do is give up on recruiting coaches. Okay. You've got to find a sort of balance between the two, and between doing that. One of the vital behaviors is to invite. So number one, you've got to add people to your network. Adding people on Instagram, friending mutual friends on Facebook, whatever that might be. You've got to do that to begin with. Then you've got to build a relationship with these people. And then, like, I wouldn't want to be added as someone's friend, and then the next day I get some message about buy my It Works product, for example, which happens all the time. I don't want your product, and even if I did, that would be super off-putting. It's like, oh, you friended me not because you like my profile, but because you want me to buy something from you. Yeah, I don't think so. So you add people to your network, you build a relationship with them, then you need to start inviting them in. Don't just put an ad out and wait for people to respond and watch the crickets. 90% of the time, I can tell you a good 90% of the challengers and the coaches that I've recruited have not come from an ad. It's come from a personal invite, come check this out, that type of thing. Okay, so don't post an ad and hope that everybody's going to respond, even if you boost it on Facebook, because there's a very big chance that nobody will, unless you pay Facebook a lot of money and then you get 57 million people looking at your ad, and then you've got a much better chance. Okay. So that's kind of about it. That's where we're standing right now. So if you guys have any questions, please go ahead and post them in the thread under this where I posted, and then we can chat. Nicole, if I missed anything, you can just add it in. having a brain fart. Okay. All right. Thanks. Bye, friends.